I don't think
That
Jason.
wasn't that bad.
No, I don't think Jason can last twice, can
I
you?
don't think he couldn't.
Well, we swam pretty.
What are we
Oh,
talking
that's
about?
pretty straight.
Yeah.
Going from like our spot to the boot.
Both of us did. I mean, if you look at Kyle's map the other day.
I love that I'm recording this right now. Oh, that's not bad. All right, here we go.
Yeah, you.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the road to Ironman with JG3 Fitness. You have Jason, the Barbarian Dunphy. Lex Gideon and Carrie Miley is back as well.
Shoving your face full of food.
Don't worry
We'd
about
like
me.
to give a nice little plug to CR Juices. They have their nice new labels
We
made.
do.
They're very good. Purple Rain, not just a good album.
Gold Doctor.
Gold Doctor's probably still my favorite.
I have a bag in there.
A sack.
I have a sack of my goodies.
A
Sis,
sack of
I
juices.
guess.
Yeah, well, that's it. So,
Gotta go this way. It's better.
I don't know. My experience. No, I'm just kidding.
all right, we're off to a great
Why was
start.
you not uppercut?
Welcome back.
Welcome back
Sorry.
to episode number 14. No,
Man,
13.
I missed a bunch.
13.
13. I don't
I
know.
got ahead of myself. That is the sound of her opening something that is not healthy for her.
Don't
Bang.
worry about me.
You got a bang on the podcast.
Oh, you want to talk about what I'm eating? Have you had pizza lately?
Oh, wow.
Knocked
Huh?
it out of the park.
Huh?
I have not had pizza lately.
What kind of pizza do you eat?
Pepperoni.
From
I
where?
want to try that pickle pizza from Fort Ball.
Ooh.
That is legit. I love what that
But I
pizza.
did show Lex a new sandwich place to go.
Yeah, we went there after we swam.
Diana's.
Oh, you talk about that all
Yeah.
the time.
Yeah.
That was some good sandwiches.
That sounds good. I went to Taco Bell after I swam. My last 2 weeks have been so hectic. We didn't even have time to grocery shop yesterday. I did set a goal of being off of pop by the end of the week. Because if fucking Wild Cherry Pepsi was sponsoring an athlete, it would be me.
Yeah.
Just rhyme with it.
I probably could be like, hey, yo, yeah, I know it's not fucking good for you, but let
It's
me
your
get that.
post-drink.
Let me get that check. No, I did. I was like, all right, we're 6 weeks out yesterday, and
Are we
I
really?
was
43 days, I think.
I was
40
like,
days.
it's time to
41.
start reining in the nutrition and start practicing as we get closer to these longer triathlons. That's when you're going to have to practice your food intake. What can you eat? What shouldn't you eat? Right now, I basically just eat these Advocare VO2 Prime bars, which are amazing, but I don't
You
want
shouldn't eat a 4-ball pizza while you're on your ride.
Oh fuck! If they would deliver, if they could track my Garmin watch, I'm sure Scott could figure it out.
He could.
Yes.
He's a smart man.
Hit me up with them.
Bring me
them
that
cinnamon
Oreo
rolls.
fluff.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yes.
So
Real
you
fluff on
gotta-
the bike.
You think you can put
Let's
it
put our menu in now. Like
All
our
joking
order.
aside, we had a meeting for the Joe P event at Fort Ball, and that buffet.
That buffet is so good.
I could spend
I could-
hours there.
I would spend hours there if it wasn't.
We've done that before.
I mean, I'm sponsored though, so it's a little different.
Yeah.
I make my appearances.
She's
Carrie,
required
you're
to
allowed
be
in
there.
there.
What?
Scott lets you in there.
He really does enjoy my presence.
He just picks on her the whole time because she won't go to the pizza side. She just sits there
How do you not go to the pizza side?
because she's got something's wrong up here.
We'll come to the pizza side.
It's like the dark side
Yes.
only.
So I was on vacation this last week, and I'm so surprised I didn't gain any weight. And I ate so much food. But we grilled out and ate. I had actual tons of meals throughout it,
And
which
what
was
was your
crazy.
activity level too?
Nothing like here, so nothing long endurance. So every morning I went to the CrossFit gym, and then twice I ran. We played kickball on the beach one day, we played baseball one day, and then I did 2 workouts at the house. So 2 days of a workout. So that was it.
But you was still active. I mean,
I was, but we,
Still.
my breakfast was my normal, which is the coffee with dextrose, which is post-WOD, and protein mix. That's what I have after, and then we'd lay at the beach, and then we would have an actual meal.
Gas
Um,
it was ridiculous.
Dinners were ridiculous. They were eating lots of all like the leftovers and stuff like that. I mean, I tried keeping it to like my eggs and salad and stuff like that, and then at dinners we went all out, which
Lobsters.
the one night was lobsters and shrimp and scallop and steak, and it was insane.
I have a bone to pick with you, by the way.
You want that? I don't eat
Oh
seafood.
my gosh.
All the
So-
scallops were amazing.
So we were, I was at a very, I'm not going to talk about where I was, but I was at a very nice restaurant. And they had.
Was it Fort Ball?
It was not. It was not Fort Ball because Fort Ball was not in Wisconsin. But I text Jason. I'm like, man, everything on this menu looks amazing, but they had a bacon wrapped stuffed shrimp.
No, the actual text said shrimp or ribs. It was not telling me. You didn't tell me there was bacon.
Yeah, bacon wrapped
We ate a lot of
stuffed
bacon.
shrimp. And he goes, get the beef ribs. And I was like, okay. So 2 of the 4 of us got the bacon wrapped shrimp and said it was the best meal they've ever had.
Now,
and I was like, the beef ribs are okay.
I also believe I told you to get both.
You did.
So
But it would have looked like an asshole move if you're not buying.
you definitely should have got both. You're not buying.
But we had no bullshit. This was one of those work trips where it was like the full course meals, appetizer followed by salads. Sometimes we had fucking soup on top of it. Then you had your meal. Then you
I
had
would've
fucking
puked
dessert.
already.
I know.
I mean, I probably had the one day I had grilled tenderloin with, I don't remember what kind of potatoes they were, but they were fucking amazing. And that was after my salad. That was after
Either
some
mashed or baked. That's
Masturbate?
mashed.
yes, masturbate potatoes.
Yes.
Man, you say potatoes and he masturbates.
and then I had some Brussels sprouts or something.
I'm gonna go back and be like, I swear he said masturbate.
and then
Is there something about if I knew it was that kind of party, I'd put my dick in the potatoes or something?
okay.
Lost me a dick.
Jake, you can tell me about your food.
Yeah. So anyway, you finished that, and
Let me
we
tell you
had-
about what you've been.
Then we had dessert, which was, I think I had creme brulee the first
Cream?
night.
Creme brulee.
Creme brulee. And then I had some cream shit on it, so I fucked up that. But anyway, and an espresso, which is not a good idea at 8 o'clock at
No,
night,
it's
because
not.
you're not going to sleep very well.
No.
And then the second night I had, actually the first night I had.
This reminds me of that one
Cuban
time when
sandwich.
Jason was reading off all the things that were in his food.
Yeah.
That was the Lost
Fucking
Podcast.
Beastie Boys, motherfucker. See?
Anyway,
Anyway, so Lex and Jason got their first open water swim in today.
This was my second.
Second. But your first one not fighting
In the
a
river.
current.
yeah.
Let
She
me
texts
swim
us,
the
let me
river."
swim against the current and see what
I was
happens.
gonna go against the current first and then with the current on the way back. I just didn't know I wasn't gonna make it very far against the current.
How far did you make it?
Like 160 yards.
That's still impressive.
Yeah.
Swimming against the current.
Like I had my mom kayak because she was like, "You're not going out there yourself." Like I refuse, and I was like, "All right, cool."
Did you touch?
No,
Oh.
we're in the like deepest part, so it's like 15 feet. And so at one point she's like kayaking in circles around me because she can't keep going forward because I'm not moving anywhere. And the police chief was, standing on the shore, and he's like, "I think you guys need to turn around."
Idiots.
And I'm like, "Yep, I'm gonna turn around now." And then I made it back really fast. So. It was real
You're
fast.
like, fuck, I'm
I know.
fine.
I was like,
So you needed your mom to take you out and then drop you off and send you
yeah,
on back.
yeah.
It doesn't work like that.
Yeah,
shit.
that's.
It just sucked.
That's
And
why
like I couldn't put my face in the water because I was like, "Oh my gosh, I can't see anything," and it was
It's a different experience.
it was
the
way
first time you-
different.
yeah,
Don't
it's-
swim in the river.
Yeah.
Is my
Don't swim in the ocean.
I remember.
Why? Whale sperm? Is that
All over.
Yeah.
all over?
There's also these. I mean, you think the waves at East Harbor are bad? You should try
I've
the
been
ocean.
I've been in the ocean.
It was awful.
And then you got the under.
I was like, well,
Yeah.
I don't really have to worry about it because I'm pretty sure I'll just be swimming in like one of the pools that has the current and you don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
That's what I thought I was going to be doing, but the taste was
Salt water.
Too much salted. You have
Ugh.
salty taste?
not used to that much.
Actually, the one time I had, I swam in with Debbie kayaking next to me. We were on vacation, I want to say 2-3 years ago up in Michigan. And everybody, I had a Jason moment where all my in-laws were like, you think you can fucking swim across this lake? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, no fucking way. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure, not guaranteeing this, but I'm pretty sure adult beverages were involved.
So did you say, hold my beer, let me do this?
Pretty sure I said, hold my beer. Debbie grabbed the kayak and we went out. And about, I don't even know how long we've been out there. It was not, you could see the other end. It wasn't like, it was like going to the buoy.
Okay.
Would be about the halfway point. And that's when I noticed Debbie smacked me with the oar. And I'm like, what? And she goes, you made your fucking point. Can we go back? And I like pop up and we're literally, I'm like, oh shit, I'm in the middle of the fucking lake. So we pop back and it was, but that's also, it was like, it was more of a pond. Like, so you didn't have like the crazy thing with swimming at East Harbor, and I was trying to tell Kyle this, is I don't think the reservoir we're swimming in is going to have currents and waves like.
I think that's what you talked about in the last one.
Yeah, so it's, but you kind of talked about, just offline before we started, you talked about the waves kind of.
Yeah, because, like, I could feel myself, especially towards the end, because if I didn't realize with open water swim on the watch every 500 yards, it does kind of like the thing with the bike, how it's every 5 miles.
Yeah.
So it does that with every 500 yards. And I was, like, you can see when, like, especially on the map, when you see me, like, I jut out and I go out deeper. And I was like, why is it so hard for me to keep going? And then I'm realizing, like, as I'm turning my head, that water's, like, coming over the top of my head. And I'm like, oh, okay. I messed up. I need to I need to turn myself back the other way. But it was kind of interesting to like see the buoy and trying to like sight it.
Mm-hmm. She like fucking powers out. She was like fucking made it look easy as fuck out there.
Did not make it.
Bullshit.
It's a different side. It's like you see the blue ball, which the podcast I really can't see, but the blue ball across the room from us. It's like
there's a pair of blue balls.
Trying to
really
see
is.
that and sight it with your eyes closed. It's basically like you're trying to walk, or in our case, swim towards something that you can see, but you're not able to see.
And the, oh shit, where's my partner at?
Yeah, so like a couple times on the way to the buoy, I had stopped because I was like, I don't hear Jason anymore. And I turned around.
Swimming way faster.
I turned around and he wasn't behind me, and so I started freaking out. I'm like,
How
oh,
could
God,
you not
he
hear
drowned.
Jason?
I know, exactly. I know, that's why I was like, oh my God. And then he ended up being like way towards the beach. Way, like, I'm like, where is he going? I thought he was. But.
It was throwing me off when I was in the ocean. Like, you could see. It was cloudy and dark, but you could see like silhouettes of things.
I know,
so
and that's
like,
why I got
these
nervous.
Fish under here.
I started closing my eyes when my face was in the water, and then opening them when I turned my head because I didn't want to see what was.
So I was trying to like go through waves because the waves were insane. So I was trying to like, you know what I mean, like duck under them as they were going and figuring out when I could pop up to breathe and not take like water. And then somebody came down and was like, just a heads up, like we were just swimming and jellyfish were right here, so I freaked out on that. And then there was shark sightings, like sharks all around. I'm like, you know what, I'm just done.
They just had was it Raleigh? They had a shark attack? Like,
there was one like 2 hours from where I was an attack, like when I was like down there, or like right before I got down there.
I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, so I swam just like a little bit and then swam back because the current was crazy and I didn't want to, and that was the least crazy current day that I tried it, and I didn't want to get too far and then I was screwed.
Yeah.
And so I would just kind of swim out and then swim it back, and then I tried it again. I was like, you know what? I feel like I'm gonna vomit. I'm done with this. We'll just chalk
I
up
wanted to
swimming
do it
when
twice, but Jason said it's done.
We did it over and back. That's twice.
That's not twice.
That's once.
I know. She Snapchatted me. She's like, "There's no fucking beach," and I'm like, "You gotta go past the."
Yeah, because where it normally is, that's the beach right there.
Yeah, no.
No, it's the lake is so high that there's only this like one little spot, and there's like maybe 10 feet of sand.
Are you allowed to wear water shoes? Or are you not allowed to wear anything?
Not during the race, no.
No.
I don't know. I don't know.
Like ours isn't even ours isn't even one you can have a wetsuit unless it's a certain.
It's under like 69.9 degrees.
Yeah, but it wasn't that bad once you got used to it today.
It sucks, and then all of a sudden you're like, I walked out when I swam this last Sunday with Kyle, we went out again, and it was like, you could tell it was about to fucking storm. And I'm like, I looked at him, I'm like, this is a fucking stupid idea. And typical caveman Kyle literally sprints, dives underwater, and he's like, I guess we're in it now. And I'm like, bitch, you're in it. I still am fully clothed.
Yeah. Well, Jason goes, because like we're looking at it before we realized the beach was like a little further down, that if you can call that a beach. And Jason goes, you want to try this or no? And I just looked at him and I was like, I don't know. Like, I don't want to.
But who went in first? Yeah.
No, you did not.
Yes, I did.
Oh,
You
yeah,
beat
you did.
me, but I was in the water first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I forgot, we got all the way out
Is
and I
it
realized I didn't have my
super
goggles. So
full?
I had to walk all the way
Yeah.
back and then go
But
back
it's
out.
amazing how quick you get comfortable with the water, because it
Yeah.
is a shock at first. And
Yeah.
then you like, I noticed to myself, I was talking to Kyle, and I'm chattering and stuff, I'm like, and next thing I know, I'm like, you fucking idiot! And next thing I know, I'm like, oh, I feel warm now.
Yeah.
I started swimming. But
Yeah. We had an audience for a little bit too.
Is there a lot of like sand and shells and all of that? So like you get done and you have like picking shells out of your
No.
crevices?
No,
No.
not at all.
No. I mean, if I walk out, I don't know how you guys did. I try and walk out to where it's at least
Yeah, that's pretty much
we
where
brought
we're
it.
at.
so.
I,
But I mean-
I wore an Under Armour like
Shirt?
long sleeve
Yeah.
shirt because I was like, I'm not doing this cold shit again. I'm not doing it.
Did it help?
Yeah, I did
So
actually.
we got
I actually swam in a 2-piece. I was so shocked, but I had shells everywhere.
I did not have that issue.
No, but it's
Holy
a
cow.
totally different. Again, you're talking about under.
I haven't done
lake,
that one
you know.
to an ocean.
Lake
I get
Erie
it,
versus ocean is your.
Yeah.
but I haven't
you're
done it,
just
so I'm
talking.
trying to figure out how
Yeah.
close it is to what.
No, I don't think even the lake stuff. You're
That's
trying
so
to,
much harder than
You're
the
trying to
rest of
take
the
the sighting and whatnot with external
Yeah.
The waves
factors
and stuff?
in the actual race. Kyle asked me why I wanted to do it that way, and I was like, I've been saying on the podcast for 13 straight weeks now, I want the race to feel easier.
Mhm.
I want you to get in there and be like, oh fuck, like there's no waves. I just gotta go to that thing and I
Yeah.
can see it and it's not bouncing around
Yeah.
like a fucking psycho, and I just gotta deal with these people. Like,
Yeah. Well, because
Okay.
that's like what you were talking about with wanting to swim on top of us. Because like when you're turning your face trying to breathe and then all of a sudden a wave's
Wave,
right
yeah,
there,
it
and
makes
I was like, oh, I just inhaled a lot of water, so I need to turn my head again, and like so just getting that feeling too was kind of.
that's why I've been drilling to you guys breathe to both sides.
Yeah.
Because you notice if the waves are coming from your right, don't fucking turn your head into the wave.
Yeah.
Turn away from the wave.
Yeah.
I noticed I switched today. I swam in the pool, and I also think your arms and your lats more specifically, because you're fighting the waves, you feel that tiredness, quote unquote, a little bit earlier.
That's what I said when we were walking. I was like, my fucking lats are like
Yeah.
on fire.
And you're pulling so much fucking harder
Well,
because
I
you're trying to
liked that.
stabilize.
I liked that
yeah.
though.
but I
But-
thought the water seemed, I don't know, thicker, more dense in the lake compared
Yeah,
to.
it's hard to describe to someone that hasn't felt both. But in taking it back to the pool, because I don't know how you guys are, I don't have the ability to go to the lake or open water swim most days. I'm stuck with the pool. So what I just did is I go, all right, that whole switching to backstroke and breaststroke shit at 500, fuck that. I have to go into my lats burn. And now I start the clock. That's when I actually, and I mean, I'm obviously counting before
Yeah.
that. But if they start burning at 700, like today, I went 1450 straight, nothing but freestyle. So I made myself go double the distance under fatigue, so I got to feel that same, instead of going, all right, fuck it, I'm gonna take that rest period. Now I'm like, I gotta train myself to not need that rest period. And believe it or not, you hit about 300 extra yards, and next thing you know, it resets back to, oh, I'm okay.
Yeah.
And then a new level of pain comes in, and you're like, oh fuck, here we go again.
Yeah.
But pushing that out, if you're gonna swim in the water now, or in the pool now versus the lake, you have to get creative with how you make it feel the same. You can close your eyes while you're swimming, and then just pop your head up and go, all right, where am I at?
I'm afraid I'd hit the wall.
That's the other thing, like in the pool, you know, yep, I had 25 yards, time to turn around and go back. In the fucking lake, you're just like, how far did I fucking swim? Where the fuck am I at?
Well, that's why you'll find 5 strokes, 10 strokes, whatever it may be, you'll learn to pop your head up and look and then take your breath.
Mm-hmm.
You'll get into these patterns where you're like, all right, I'm okay for X number. And it's going to be different for all of us. Like some people being unable to see might help them and they swim longer without looking. Others might go, I got to look a lot more frequent. And I remember one of the first swims we did together at the Ross pool before we even went to the Y. You remember your first swim? I went, oh fuck, you got to swim for open water. Like you had the perfect stroke for open water. So when he texted me today that you killed it, I was like, makes sense. Just the way you keep your head, you can pick up something in the distance where I kind of tend to look more straight down. For me to look up, I have to completely change my stroke. And then I'm like, oh fuck, I'm not in a good position, and I'm thinking of that, and I miss my mark, and then I'm like, fuck, now I gotta do it again. Where if you can pick that up from your head angle, it might not be perfect for what we're trying to do in a pool or speed in a pool, but for open water, I mean, you could read in your text today how excited you were.
Oh, I know, that's
You're
all
like,
good.
oh shit, swimming, like I was worried. I'm like, what was the pace? And she's like, it was almost right at what you were.
It was slower than what I normally went, but it wasn't.
It wasn't like that huge.
It wasn't
drop-off.
like a minute or 2 minutes or anything like that. So.
How was your pace?
3:46.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm usually like 1:30, 1:40.
Yeah, you done got your ass whooped.
I did. It was like, okay, I'm relearning this shit again. So.
Yeah. Like I think my first 500 it was like 2:39, and then my the last bit I did was 2:20 something.
But every injury felt great being in the
Oh,
water.
my knees felt amazing.
Yeah. You're like, I'm pain free in this fucking water.
That's great. You'll also learn the second time around when you're not worried about, is Jason gonna be okay? Where the fuck's Lex? Like,
But still,
when you just focus on yourself, it gets easier as well. Because then you're like, all right, all I got to do is worry about that buoy.
yeah.
And that's what I was saying. Now that you guys have swam there, I told Kyle that July one where we're going to camp up there, and I want to do the full tri-start on there. I was going to start on the beach. I think it's the 3rd rock pile if you're starting from the one end. If you start there and go down and back, that should be pretty fucking close to 1.2. Because 2 of those rock piles down and back is like
I was thinking
750 miles. Yeah, well, you go, or I mean, you could walk all the way down to the buoy and go buoy and back, but I
Yeah.
think you're gonna have to spin and do a little bit more.
I think the buoys go out past the rock pile.
They do, but I don't plan on going out into the boating zone.
Well, if you touch the buoy and come back.
Yeah,
That's what he just said.
that's
He
what I
said
just
go
said.
around.
Oh yeah.
Come back.
God,
Well, either way.
Jesus Christ.
he really is a barbarian. Me have stick. Fuck this podcast. I did. Told Jason this earlier. I walked in and I was like, "Shit, I'm not gonna have time to run like I had intended on." So I walked in, popped my front tire off, and changed the tire in, what did I tell you, like 5 minutes or something like that.
That's good.
So I was like, once you realize you got these tools in your bag that help you pop the tire off, and I'm like, oh shit, these things are way easier than fucking ripping it as hard as I can with my hands. So
Oh yeah, I heard you were associate changing tires and Carrie's a fucking monster at it.
yeah,
I heard you were really delicate.
not this last
I
time. was
think,
like,
I
fuck
think
it.
everybody changed the same tire, and then he got his done.
I think learning those little tricks that I probably wasn't paying attention when they were talking about makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
Understanding
I
that the
didn't even
air,
practice
understanding
I
the
bet
air
so.
should have the inner tube
Yeah.
should have a
little
little
bit.
air in it.
Yep.
Before you try that shit, you don't deflate it all the way down to.
They did say that.
I was like, oh shit, this is
Makes
way
it
easier if you're, yeah. Because it's easier to pop the tire off the thing. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit. So I'm feeling more comfortable with that, which is.
That's good.
Every time I take that fucker off, though, I get this little thought that, you dipshit, if you don't get this back on, you can't ride your bike again until you fucking figure this shit out.
Catherine,
And
I
I'm
broke my toe, I don't know
like,
what to do.
shit. Oh, I rode in the rain Sunday.
That's fucking horrible.
I bought a bottle of the lube, so if nobody else has it.
I have it.
I
Oh, you do?
have
I was gonna say, it looks like there's
A
a
little-
ton of it.
I got the
Little green.
wet loop.
Whatever they told me.
Yeah.
I was gonna say don't go buy it because they said you pretty much don't really need to put it on unless you're out in the rain. It'll last a while, so never mind then.
So you got lube for nothing.
I guess I'll just have to use it.
Yeah.
I got aero bars and I still have not used those.
I don't. Yeah.
No, they're on. I haven't even been on my bike.
Do you have yours on?
Yeah, I barely.
So I think I was-
I just gotta get forced
Dude, I'm
myself.
telling you, I
Working
I've
and
said
then
this
I've been
before.
away and just I haven't been home to ride. No,
It's-
Brody was off of school and had no daycare, so I was not at work. He was with me,
Yeah.
so I couldn't go out for a long ride. And then we were on vacation. So.
It is a different. The aero bars are definitely weird at first. The shoes to me, once I figured out how to clip in, that became real natural.
See, I would get in that position, like without having the aero bars, and I would ride with them.
I think it's way
is
different
it
when you actually have the pads to put your.
Do we
hand
all
on
have
it.
the same arrow bars?
I have no idea. I haven't
I
seen.
Well, you could pick different ones.
I got the same ones that you do. 'Cause she
Yeah.
said
Is
she
it
did-
the handle that kind of
Yeah.
closes?
And then the.
But Kyle's are different.
Yeah.
Like his don't.
Those are the
move.
ones I bought.
Which
And you can
ones?
adjust. No,
Yeah.
the ones that are.
And then the pads like pop up a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah,
so you
yeah.
don't
Those
lose
are the
that.
ones I bought.
Yeah, those are comfortable as shit. But there's definitely some adjustments that you can make to make it further away or
I-
closer to you. But it's
do
I
not
think
have
I need to
clip-in
scoot 'em
shoes or
closer.
aero bars, so I'm just gonna wing it.
it takes some time to like. For
I
me,
like
it was
my
my
shoes.
lower back. I felt like I was way hunched over, and then I realized how to get into a comfortable position. And
Catherine stopped me from buying a $500 pair of clip-in shoes.
Oh
God.
my
They're-
gosh!
they're
Catherine, thank you for
They're like
taking
I wanna,
care
like,
of
look at
Jason.
these-
Why?
I don't know, they're fucking sweet looking shoes.
Do you
He
have
sent them to me, and
clip-ins?
I'm like, what the?
I think I got a sale one that was last year's or something.
I got the demo ones.
And like you like crank them tighter on
Mhm.
mine, and then you can like pop it out and it'll open them up. Yeah. So
I think I told him before he bought both of them, if I had to choose between the two, shoes would be more important than an aero bar.
we talked about that, and that's when I got the shoes first, and I'd done rides with them, and then I went and got those.
Did you hear about that? Talk about your fucking helmet, you idiot. Catherine should have talked you out of that.
No, she said that's a great helmet because I was looking at something else and she looked at me like that's an idiot because I haven't said it. She gave me that like the look that your wife would give you if you bought something stupid.
She probably looks at you and thinks of like dollar signs. She was like, yes.
No, she actually was a cheaper buy than what I was.
She's like,
looking
my
at.
commission check.
How, what I don't understand is, like, my watch always stays, like, your watch is always fucked up. Like, even when you had your Fitbit before that, you always have something.
Why are you just
around.
a mess?
I don't know.
No, so explain your helmet as you're explaining it to me.
It has the AMGI system, which is a
That lower.
tracking system that syncs to your phone. So everybody that's in my contacts, if I crash, it'll send you a text with my location and tell me I've crashed.
So
Help,
this
I've
motherfucker
fallen.
crashed.
So,
Help, I've fallen, I
and it was
can't
only
get up.
$240 for this
Oh my
helmet.
god. I wanted the helmets that had the headset in them so we could talk to each other.
We're not allowed to talk to each other.
We can during practicing. How
Practicing?
sweet would that be?
All we'd be talking about is fucking chicken wings from Fort Ball.
Yeah. If I ever break down on my bike, I hope it's by Fort Ball.
Pickle pizza.
Is that 5?
We should have had him bet you a pizza on that.
I know. Scott.
So while we do this?
My sponsor. That's not for Alcoholics Anonymous. That's someone different.
Oh my gosh.
And it's a specialized helmet, so.
I just got a normal helmet. It was like $40.
I don't even think mine was that
Okay,
much.
one-
I didn't get a new bike. My bike's from the 1980s and it's a men's bike, so let's go.
One, I have a 55-gallon drum head, so.
You just got a new seat. How much was that? You got your
150.
ass measured.
Yes.
He told me, he's like, measure your ass. I'm like, why?
Dude, the new seat's fucking amazing.
I didn't have an issue with the last seat.
It's
Well, you won't realize it until you get the new seat.
Dude, it's fucking amazing.
My seat's fine.
Does it prevent
Whatever.
chafing?
Get off the bike faster.
but
You
literally
don't have to
the
worry
It
about it.
reduces pressure on your sack, so that was fucking amazing.
That's I'm not gonna lie, when I bought my new seat, she was like, it'll relieve any pressure, you know, in your vagina. I was like, okay, I'll get it.
I had the guy that was helping me the very first time, and I was like, what all do I need? And he was going through it, and he was talking about, like, the shaving cream or whatever, and he was so embarrassed. Like, he didn't know what to say. I was like, I need this, and he's like, put this, you know, just if you... It was so uncomfortable. It made me laugh.
How
Yeah.
many pictures does Jason have to show you on his phone?
I'm showing him my saddle.
I thought you were about to say my sack.
Saddlebag.
So yeah, to me, it takes pressure. It's way nicer.
I was going through my saddlebag because I'm on YouTube watching that, like, how do you change a tire, right? And I'm like, the fuck are these? How do I not have those? Spoke Life, come on. And then I open and there's these nice. I'm like, oh shit. I have them. Shout out Spoke Life again. I was fucking ready.
Yes.
And then I was like, oh fuck, this is way easier.
Well, dude, take care of me. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
I just need, I'm gonna see if Catherine will just ride alongside me the whole time, so if I have a flat, she'll just jump onto the course and change it for me.
I think I would seriously like to ride with those guys because then they could be like, this is what the fuck you're doing wrong. Here's how you fix your shit.
I think that I'm 6 weeks out, and whatever I've got so far is just what it's gonna be.
Here's my, I might
Yeah.
have said this on the last podcast where I think we might have done it wrong had we been doing anything other than Ironman. But Ironman, you literally, if you're within 2 feet of someone, they're gonna make you pass them and you
Yeah.
guys both get a penalty.
Yeah.
So we trained, when it's all said and done, yeah, we might not know as much about biking or technique or things, but we learned it our way, which I guess is good.
But it's always not right. So.
I was
Who
going to say,
gives a
unless
shit?
it's the wrong way.
Yeah.
I already printed off the whole thing. I've been highlighting things in the rule book. I'll get you guys a finalized copy next week.
Can we just get a PowerPoint and
I can make a Powerpoint if you'd like.
I hate PowerPoints for the past.
I'll give you guys
Fewer
the full
words, the
brief.
better.
I literally have
My
42
attention span's
pages
very
of the
small.
handbook printed out, and
Are you serious?
yeah, I'm not kidding. It's in an orange binder.
Did you read it?
I'm getting through it, yeah.
Wow.
I just
Because
looked at my
I can't trust you guys to do it.
Yeah, I haven't done
I'm
any
just
of
waiting
it.
to
I
get
didn't
a bunch
even
of
know
numbers.
I got it down at 70.3 miles. See?
Well,
I got
mean,
you.
It says Ironman 70.
Hey, how long was it that I didn't even know that?
How long was it where she was like, how long's the bike again?
56.
How long's the run?
13.1.
How long is the swim?
1.2.
So proud.
What's the time?
Everybody on YouTube.
That I have no
look
idea.
At Jason is carrying around a sack of water.
Camelback, baby. 100 ounces of water.
Nobody cares about your camelback
That's
bag.
fucking amazing.
So,
He had to look into the camera to say that.
so what I was
Fucking
doing,
amazing.
since I have not been able to really train because of like my schedule and stuff, I've been working on the mental. And I did the David Goggins book, audiobook.
Please don't say what I think you're about to say next.
Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm fucking ready to go. Like mentally though, if it's been a while,
Fuck it. Re-listen to it.
Yeah.
I'm
bet.
saving it for the next time I have to ride indoors.
cause I had 28 hours of driving for vacation, and I just had my headset in and just
Oh,
went.
you didn't let Brody listen to that? He was so motivated?
No, he listened to Old Town Road or whatever the hell that was on repeat.
Still.
Good God. I got a video to send. I got a video to send you that's a parody of this.
I made him put headphones on, and I have a video of him singing it at the top of his lungs with headphones on. I'm like, who needs the radio? Like, I don't even know why you have those on. But it's crazy. Like, it's what my biggest takeaway from this Ironman training has been the mental aspect of it, of how like far I've pushed myself or saw that I can go, like how much doubt that I used to have, like, and I've pushed past it. And that's what the book's all about, and how tapping into your mental and wiping away that doubt.
My
And
dad's reading it. I got him to read it because he was because he saw me finish not this past weekend, but the weekend before we ended with 5 miles running.
Yes.
For the triathlon day, he saw me finish it, and I finished it like at the corner and then walked back to the house. He goes, "How many more miles do you have?" I'm like, "I'm done." He's like, "You look like you're not tired at all." And so then he was asking me all these questions, and I was like talking about that 40%, and
yeah,
like you have so much more that you can still give even when you're tired.
Like
and
tap
you
it into your cookie jar.
Yeah.
And that, whatever, the car piece or whatever he was saying, to break that down. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. Yeah.
I've never heard him refer
I don't
to
remember
that. I
that
know the
part.
cookie
Yeah,
jar. I don't
yeah.
know the car piece.
It's like not like the alternator, whatever that thing is. Re-listen
Gas
to
tank?
it.
All I
No.
can think of is piston.
No. Gosh, I'm gonna go back and listen to it tonight and be like, this is what it was.
Yeah.
But and how you like break that apart and just pushing past all that, and I don't know. It's been cool because I started like to think about how close we're getting, and it's been giving me like anxiety, and I'm freaking out, and so now it's channeled that in a different way where it's like that excitement. And I mean, how he's like, I'm going to hit that point where I want to quit, and my brain's going to tell me to quit, so how am I going to get past it? And
Yeah.
it's like, I know I'm going to hit that point too, so
Yeah.
and I know I'm going to do it, I know I'm going to finish it, so let's now start, like I want to start mentally visualizing that moment where it's like, I'm done, I don't want to do this, and like see
That's what I
myself
do.
getting past it, like what I'm going to say to myself, like all of that kind of stuff, you know. So that's kind of where I've tapped into with the last week of more of the mental, and then just trying to stay fit the best that I can. It might not be strictly Ironman training, but you know, it's just staying in shape and then getting my mind better.
Well, I think I've had a couple of takeaways from Ironman so far. The first one being there's more than one way to the destination. As a coach, I've kind of taken a much different approach to Ironman than I have in most of the other things that I've done, because Mission 24, marathon, everything's ended, like I always finish, but I always have these horrible fucking cramps. And I think I pushed my body too far early on, and I don't know how to, it's either hydration. At this point I'm eliminating hydration because with the amount of water and shit I drank for Mission 24, it shouldn't have been that. I am taking salt tablets just in case it is that, but I'm learning kind of, and Goggins talks about it too with his, he alters his pace all the time. And this might have been in Living with the Seal too, where he did the treadmill test where he goes 3 minutes at this pace, and he goes slower pace, and he moves it around, and that's kind of how I've been doing a lot of my interval days on the running is practicing going faster and then backing it down. And wearing a heart rate monitor for me is like, and a live one that I can see on my wrist, where it's like, okay, here's the net effect of that. And it's not so much the pushing it, I don't care, and my heart rate's not getting higher, but noticing how long it takes for me to get it down and how much slower, at a certain point, you hit this breaking point where it's like, oh fuck, like 10:30 was my threshold. And now all of a sudden, because I blew my wad on fucking going 7:30 for 3 minutes,
Right.
now I got to back that down to almost 12 minutes to get my heart rate to come down. Now I might be able to pick it back up to there, but just realizing, hey, these different zones, there's a reason they call them zones, and like how it affects your legs and your soreness level and all that other stuff. It's been very interesting to hit all of those different things. So it's kind of taking a step back and going, hey, maybe you don't know fucking everything. You've never done a triathlon competitively before. Why not try it a different way? So doing that, and then hitting the accessory work, and really not doing anything with super high intensity has kind of been the mental set that she's talking about. Holy fuck, at first it was like, I'm not doing shit.
Like when the wind used to hit you and you're like,
Yeah.
fuck my life,
Yeah.
I'm done with this
Quit,
shit.
like all of
Yeah.
that. And like with the intervals and stuff, like the one day where it was the continuous running that you programmed on
Yeah.
a Wednesday, and it was like run a mile and then jog a 400 and then an 800 and then jog an 800 or whatever it was. So
It was all over the board.
it was. I remember you
I
had
did
written
that.
on your hand, and I wrote it
Yeah.
too. And I got done with that, and I checked like my total time because I kept track of it, and the miles and the time. I finished that as if I just went out and just ran a normal like 5K. It was like 3 miles or something like that. So doing that kind of fast and slow and like the up and down of like the pacing, it ended up being the exact same at the end, but I felt good because of like the recovery runs and stuff
Yeah.
like that, which
Your
I thought
recovery pace
it was a big
is-
aha for me on that one.
Well, and we kind of talked about it when we ran the Glass City, and it might not have been as a group, it might have been me and John on the drive up there, but I'm the type, I like to alter my pace a lot. Like, because of my experiences with cramping and things like that, I've always had to go, all right, I need to back it down or I'm fucked, and then I can pick it back up. And John's kind of the exact opposite, where he's like, I like to find a pace and just go into it. And I'm like, yeah, that's fine, but fucking an hour in, now that's my pace, and I'm tired of that pace. Now I'm working harder to hold that pace. Where I like to go out faster than I want to, back it down slower than I want to, and kind of screw around with that. And it's not your typical runner style, but
my 189 average heart rate during that half marathon would say different.
But I think it comes down to like what Carrie said, what your overall speed is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so if you bike it, you know, you're doing your 18, you back it down to like 15.
Mm-hmm.
But
biking 18.
But your overall speed, your average is still your
average
16.
ends up being the same. Yeah, there's times where it's like I drop it down too low and I'm like, all right, let's go, like let's pick it up, and then my brain will start thinking, and I know when my brain gets in that out of my own head mode and just gets in la la land mode, like everything picks up, whether it's my bike or my run. And that's how it was in the Glass City. You remember, you're like, okay, bye. But I mean, I just got to going and thinking, and it just.
Glass City is such a blur for me.
Oh,
I think I was dead.
You like screamed at me, and I was like, I
think
feel
I was
it.
dead.
I'm going. If I drop back, I'm not gonna make it. But yeah, and it averages out to be
exactly
the same. Yeah.
And I think, and I say this quite frequently, that too, is looking at speed is much different than looking at heart rate. If you go, all right, I got 3 minutes where I'm going to ignore my heart rate and just go. But in that 3 minutes, I'm paying attention to my heart rate. I have to get it down to this or I'm walking.
That's what I'd have to do.
Now you're sitting there going, all right, because I don't give a fuck how good you are. 17 is a subjective number with wind and outside factors, but 147 is 140. You're working at a 147 heart rate. So that's been the hardest thing for me ego-wise, is there's times where 147's fucking 15 miles an hour. There's times where it's fucking 12, and I'm going, but I can go faster. I can go faster.
I was barely holding a 9.5.
Yeah.
The other day because the wind was so bad.
But then there's other times where, and I think I wrote a blog about this, you always have to turn around. When that wind's hitting you, the thing I always try and, instead of, where early on it was like, fuck this, I don't want this bike, it's going to knock me over. Now I think, if it's this hard going out, imagine how easy it's going to be going back.
I think that, like, oh, this is hard, and then you turn around and you're like, oh my god, this is hard. It really wasn't hard. That was the easy.
Like my ride today, I was riding into the wind the whole way, and it's like, I think I'm riding it. Yep. And then I seen the socks, they were like blowing kind of like straight. I was like, so I know going home, it's going to be easy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I've also noticed, like, I'm more of a second half rider.
Mm-hmm.
Like, once I know, like, okay, here's the halfway point, I'll crank it up.
Well, I think that's, I was reading that Chasing Kona book, which I got back if anybody wants it, and he talks about the advantage of that 20 to 30 minute recovery. Don't really think about it until you get past that point, because there were a lot of times, some of my best rides, I'm like, I feel like shit. I really feel bad. My watch goes off. It's 20 minutes per 5 miles or whatever, and I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna go a little bit further before I make a determination. Next thing you know, my watch goes off, and it's like 3 minutes faster the second 5 miles.
Well,
and
it's
I'm
like
like,
the
oh
run.
shit, I woke up.
They always say like your first 1 to 4 miles on a run, or you're terrible if you can get past them, and then after that, like,
it's like
you're good.
it's
It's
usually
true.
about 3 miles. For
Same with
me
me
on
on
the bike,
swimming. I'm like, oh
where
my
I was
gosh.
like, no, I don't want to do this.
And then you get in that zone where you're okay. And that's how it was this morning in that workout. First 4 rounds, I was like, I'm not doing this. And then I was okay.
I did have a moment.
Get that blood flowing through your body.
For sure. I had a moment yesterday. It made me smile, but at the same time it made me go, oh wow. Didn't expect that. Like, I hit the bike and I'm like, all right, I'm going to fucking Bellevue and back. And then I'm like, I was going to take the fucking the route back
Route
to 20
20.
and hit. I was going out 18 and coming back 18 for 36. And I was just shy of Bellevue, or right where you hit turn. And I saw a dad with his 2 kids on a bike, and I'm like, spun around right there. I'm like, fuck this shit. I'm not going to be out here for 3 hours or 2.5 hours on Father's Day with my kids at. And I'm like, fuck this shit. I'm going home. And
that's important though.
And I was happy because in the past I get so consumed with these goals. And don't get me wrong, I want to finish Ironman. I'm going to go pretty crazy over the next 4 weeks getting ready for it. But in that moment, nothing was more important than my kids. And I always try and keep in perspective, if I'm going to come on this podcast and say I want to teach them to chase your goals, and I still have to fucking be there.
Yeah.
Like, it can't be dad's on his bike, dad's doing, dad. So I went home and I pitched to Trenton, went to Buffalo Wild and just did whatever the hell they wanted. And I was like, but I woke up this morning feeling ready to attack the next 4 weeks. Because it was like, okay, I can take that. And we always forget, most of us at this table have a pretty solid base level of fitness going into this. So it was like I said in my blog, 3 days isn't gonna fucking kill me. This is, at this point in time, it's a mental battle. If you don't believe you can do it now, you better fucking get off your ass the next 4 weeks.
I think you're still gonna have those days.
I'm not saying, there's no doubt about that. I'm not saying it's in the bag, but at this point, if you haven't made peace with yourself that I can do this, and there's just this little voice of doubt, or there's this could be what stops me, now you should be focusing on this is what could stop me.
Well, that open water swim today, that kicked me in the dick.
Yeah.
But then I went home and I jumped on the bike and I did 20.
Mm-hmm.
And it's probably like nothing.
Yeah, I was
And
like,
remember when 20 miles was like, God damn,
yeah,
that's a long way.
now it's like, I'm gonna go do 20.
So it's like we've all accomplished like pieces and
Pizza!
Like we've all accomplished parts of this, or like we have an idea or done like at least like mini tries and stuff like that. And I agree with that, and that's kind of where I'm not able to go out and do all these tries. So I 100% agree with you that I think our fitness level, and that's at least for myself and what I'm holding on to now, it's more of like getting my mindset to the belief mode. Like I have done it and let's do it. But if I could just stay up on fitness, whatever kind of fitness I can get into, whether it's strength, like on my legs, just keep my legs building with strength and endurance. Like this, it's all legs, most of it.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, if I can just keep those up in some way, I'm going to tap into that and it's going to work. Like keeping my lungs, whether it's the CrossFit or if I can go out for a run, just keeping that endurance and something like the long brain part of it of like not wanting to quit. Like it's going to come in handy. I think if we weren't fit, we would have never been able to run out and go do a half marathon. Like we didn't train for a half marathon. We did. We just got about not really, not like most people do.
Yeah.
Like we just like signed up and went. But I mean, we did really very well.
I only would run those days.
We weren't running
the only
those
days
long,
I would run.
We weren't running crazy long distances. I mean, for the most part, like a runner. But it's like our fitness level is on point. So I mean, we went sub 2 hours.
I think it comes down to that
7-day
average also.
No, and that's
we have our health on it, like our nutrition's on it, the sleep, like all of that.
My nutrition
Pizza.
from football. Did I say fort ball? I don't even know.
You said
You did.
Yeah, I mean, it goes back to, over the next 4 weeks when I'm talking about ramping it up and things like that, I'm not talking about, like, going crazy and doing triathlons every day. What I'm talking about is, like, today I swam 1,750 yards or whatever. Wednesday, let's say, I do another 1,500. Friday, I do another little bit. I'm talking about the sum of right now, up until this point, I've been swimming maybe once or twice a week. Now I'm going to get consistent 3 days a week with every movement. And that sum over the week should make the triathlon on Saturday or Sunday, whichever day I can fit it into my schedule. That triathlon still has to feel easy every week. Like you talk about your dad saying at the end of your 5 miles, he was like, damn, you look like you had more than a tank. That's where during the week when you're doing your 1,750 for me swimming 661 and whatever you guys ended up getting, that's where you test and go, all right, I can push it a little here. I can get to the point where my lats are blown up and try and go double the distance at that point. You know what I mean? I have to test that. I can fuck around with intervals and things like that when I'm running and or biking. But once you get to the triathlon on Saturday or Sunday, it's got to be, for me anyway, I'm consistent with my heart rate until the run. Once I get on the run, then it's like, where am I at? Do I want to push it? Do I not? You know what I mean? So that's kind of how I'm looking at the next 4 to 6 weeks. And I keep saying 4 weeks left. I plan on, after we hit that practice 70.3,
Not doing shit.
it's not doing shit. I'll probably still swim, bike, and run once a week, or twice a week, separate from each other, and just do maintenance type stuff. So that first week, half distances on everything. And then the week after will just be like that. That's the week of the actual event. So I'll probably one day go a very light, like 500 to 100 or to 1,000 swim, 10, 15, just to feel, all right, I'm still moving. And then game day, obviously.
I'm really so excited for that week.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fucking get it done.
Oh, that week is gonna be awesome.
I feel so much better having taken a couple days and just going, you know what, fuck it. Like, I need this time.
I think
Because I literally don't think since Mission 24, we went camping and I took 3 straight days off after Mission 24. And that's the last time I took more than a day off a week.
I get lots of them.
So I'm like, it's
crazy.
time to reset. And
Sunday I did, and boy did I just nap all day.
but you have to feel, if you're consistently running yourself down, you're never going to get to the point where you recover. Like there's pushing it smart. I was kind of thinking about that during the swim today. Training smart, not hard. You know what I mean? Like sometimes I think people, and this isn't at Carrie, so she just brought up David Goggins, so I'm going to talk about David Goggins, but this has nothing to do with what she said. But I know a lot of people that read or listen to David Goggins, and all of a sudden they're like, gotta fucking go. Never exercise, but I'm going to run 10 miles a day for the next 5 days. No, that's a recipe for fucking disaster.
And he even tells you that.
Yeah, no, I get that, but if you should train hard and you should fucking fight those mental demons, but it's got to be smart.
Yeah.
Like, there's still this thing called injury that if you went from couch potato to running that much, you're probably not going to feel that great. So you gotta kind of realize, if I can give any piece of advice to anybody listening, find a fucking coach. It can be an online coach, it can be whatever, but find someone that's going to be honest with you and say, this isn't a good fucking idea. Like,
You do that a lot with
here's
me.
a plan.
Well,
Stupid phone. Anyway, but yeah, you gotta. And I mean, like Carrie said, I did that a lot for her. I mean, I still do it for her sometimes.
We
but-
went out, Kyle, Eric, and I went running, and he was talking about, what did we do? The 50-mile or 45-mile
Yeah,
bike
you
ride I
didn't-
jumped
you
into.
didn't listen to, Kyle brought up this on the podcast.
And I listened to most of it, but yeah, and he was like, he brought it up. He's like, did Jay yell at you? I'm like, he better have yelled at you. And he was like, oh, he did.
Oh yeah, that's when you yelled at me
Yeah.
the same week.
Yeah,
I was like, he was being such a, like, he won't talk to me. Like, I sent him like 3 text messages and he won't respond. He was so mad.
Dick to Kyle. I was beyond a dick to Kyle.
You just went silent treatment. Like, fine, whatever.
Yeah, well, it's
Jay,
just,
have you been mad at me yet?
I don't know.
He's always mad at me.
It's
kind of how we are.
These dumbass kids, these fuckers don't listen.
There are legit times though, like
You're mad a lot less though than what
I
you
think
used
it
to be.
was.
Like 44 miler.
No, I think you texted me the other day something, and I like thought I responded, and I never did.
Me?
And then I don't know which one.
I think it was me, because I was
And
like, oh.
all of a sudden the next day I text back and I'm like, oh shit, I never responded to that. And I'm like, oh, but some of it is just the last 2 weeks have been very, very
Bananas.
hectic for me. I mean, a couple of our new members were like, I thought you fucking quit. I'm like, if
I own that.
if I quit, you wouldn't be walking in the door. Like, it is a little, it's different. But I mean, we had a new member today I met for the first time, and he's been coming for almost 2 weeks now. And I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I've really just got a lot going on. So, yeah, and I don't think people understand. It's not necessarily I'm mad at you or anything like that. It's just my job is to tell you what's smart and what's not.
To save us from ourselves.
Yeah, sometimes I think, and
Got it, coach.
my boss gave me the best advice very early on in my career. He goes, don't take shit personal. Like, just don't take it personal. I'm like, but they said blah. And he goes, it doesn't matter what they said. You're taking it personal. I'm like, how do you not take it personally? He goes, do you want to really go home and think about this shit at night? And I'm like, fuck no.
No.
And he goes, then take 5 minutes, walk away from it, and come back to it.
I used to. Like,
and
Chase
it's-
mad at me.
Yeah.
I'm quitting. What am I gonna do? He's gonna tell me to leave the gym. I'm never coming back. And I like plan it all out, and then you're like, hey, so what do you do? And I'm like, oh, I don't have to quit today.
You just plug your dumbass and you move on.
Yeah, that's exactly all it is.
Yeah, literally.
In a nutshell, that's what it is.
I'm usually over it pretty freaking, and I'm usually not even that riled up.
We get going pretty good.
Well, me and her have in the past. It's not as bad anymore.
No.
Normally I'm like,
She's
I'm
listening.
MIA now.
huh?
She's listening now.
No, fuck no.
Oh.
No, I just don't communicate with her.
Yeah. If she goes
Have you
quiet on
noticed
me,
that
I
we
know
don't
she's
talk
not-
anymore?
Yeah, if she's not talking to me, she's doing something that I wouldn't approve of.
Like when your children are quiet, you know they're doing something
Yeah.
bad and you need to go check on
I've
them.
thought about things like, if I do this and I text Jay, he's gonna get fucking pissed.
Just don't tell him.
I'm not gonna tell him.
Here's the thing, though. As I know,
You're
Jay,
learning.
I know Jay can look at my watch data,
I found
so
it.
I don't
See, I'm
even bother
good.
lying.
I'm good.
I don't even bother.
I don't talk to any of you guys. I told Lisa, I'm like, Jay's mad at me. And then she yelled at me. I'm like, what the hell? You're supposed to be on my side. She's like, well, that wasn't really smart of you. I'm like, you know what? I'm done with you too.
Like when I went to swim in the lake on Saturday, everybody's like, "You're dumb. Don't do it."
Well,
See,
you
you
go
should
by
have just
yourself.
texted me, bro.
That's
I would
why.
have been like, yeah, get it. Let me know how it goes.
I was gonna go Saturday by myself and swim in the lake,
I've done that.
but it's
Well,
like it was rough
Jason had
Saturday.
never done it before.
One of the reasons I also like East Harbor is you can fucking touch the
Yeah.
ground.
Yeah, I do like that.
Even
So,
I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It might be up to your shoulder.
Because you're just walking out, so if you just
Yeah.
get to the point where you're like,
It's
all
like
right,
deep
I'm-
enough.
Yeah.
And that's right now. It's deeper than probably normal.
Yeah.
Oh, by a lot. The week between I went there with the Lunsfords and going there with Kyle was like, the fucking beach was here last week. It's not like,
Yeah.
oh,
There's like no
bullshit.
beach now.
Even Stella was like, I'm not fucking swimming in that shit. I'm
No.
like, dog, you get in everything. And she's like, I'm gonna go fuck with these fishies.
You're
There was
a
a
lab.
death
You're
wish.
supposed to be in the water. Let's
Yeah.
go.
But it really is. And I think part of that, to kind of circle back to a coach-athlete relationship, part of that is realizing there, I said it earlier, there's different ways to get to the same destination. And understanding she's been doing this now for 5 years. Yes, I've been her coach that whole time, but understanding, hey, there's some things that she's got to make the call on the fly. That's her own business. Fuck you, Kyle.
Doing a
A little
podcast.
bit.
Yeah, couldn't come to the podcast. He had to be a
He's got-
family man. We flip off.
Oh, look at Courtney's bike.
He's got the granny bike.
But and not getting stressed out about it. Like, it would be one thing if it's in the gym and we're, someone's going, your programming fucking sucks, I'm not going to follow your programming, even though I pay to be a member here. That's a completely
Speak
different.
like that's happened before.
we're not gonna touch on that. But I say that as a smile. But
You do.
but we're all doing something extracurricular from the gym. Yes, I have kind of this base knowledge, and I've done distance swimming. I've done a marathon. I don't know shit about bike. Well, I'm learning about biking, but if you want to follow a stock program that you found on fucking line, go for it. Those people have done it. I have not. I'm taking all of my various experiences and putting it into what I think would help. But I also look at how many books I've read. Like, I've taken Rich Roll, I've taken David Goggins, I've taken all these little articles from James Lawrence, Iron Cow. Like, I've taken little pieces of them and go, oh, that sounds really similar to what the fuck I said we should be doing. So yeah, I'm probably definitely leaning more towards that, but I'm also taking, like, reading Chasing Kona, going, ooh, interval work, mixing that in. Didn't think about that. Like, it doesn't
I'm really
always,
glad you introduced
it doesn't always have to be this hard. Because I got to thinking at one point, I'm like, man, if all we're ever fucking doing is, if all I'm ever doing is training sub-zone 3 heart rate running, how the fuck am I ever going to get fat? It's always going to feel like shit.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I might make these incremental gains, but if I also work that speed, now when I go back to that, mentally, that connection between your mind and your heart rate is shouldn't be stated enough.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can get my heart rate to 160 just getting pissed off.
I'm good at that.
So understanding like, okay, I ran 7-minute mile pace when I was doing our intervals. So running a 10-minute mile, I know it feels easier. The belief in your head that something's easier automatically connects to the body.
Yeah.
Right? So, and making that, I made that audible, 3, 4, 5 weeks ago? Might have only been 3 weeks ago. But still not resting on the fact that, hey, I think we got this in the bag. Still pushing the envelope and going, all right, we can still make these tweaks as we go, because what happens when we do blow a fucking tire and you gotta pick it up? If we haven't practiced how to pick it up and then back it back down, we're fucked.
Yeah.
So, never resting until I have the fucking metal around my neck is a key part of,
And if you blow your tire, you can fucking run still.
yeah.
Bike.
You can carry
You
your
can
bike and
hold your
fucking
bike,
run.
Let's hope like fuck that.
So I was listening to something, and they were talking about how you should progress slowly and not jump into something. And I was like, Jay was right. I did not want to say. I'm like, no. I was like, damn it, he yelled at me for that, for going 6.
She just admitted on the podcast you're
I
right.
did.
I know.
Because I did the 6 mile to a 13 or whatever, and 13 and a half, and you were like, you're such an idiot. And the run, or the bike, and when I went 20 to 45.
Jesus.
Yeah, I
You yelled
mean,
at me for just adding 4 miles? Yeah.
Just shut the fuck up, Jason.
Well,
I
that's
did.
why I didn't ask
my
permission.
my
I
yelling
asked
at
for-
you was a lot different
Oh
than
yeah.
my
It's like,
yelling at.
I don't think you should have done that.
But the difference is I used a lot more words to yell at you. With her, I literally will just have you're a
Cut me
fucking
off.
idiot, and then I won't talk to her the rest of the day. Because here's the thing: if I say you're an idiot, she's just gonna come back with all these reasons why she
And I
doesn't
did.
think she's an idiot, and then I'm like, this is just gonna turn bad. So I'm just gonna ignore her the rest of the day
I
until
sent
I'm ready
like
to talk
3
about something
more
different.
on how I'm not an idiot and how great it went, and then I was like, fine, whatever. I'm just gonna feel great because I did.
Yeah, it's
I was like, well, I was gonna do the whole 56, so you should be proud of me that I did it, okay?
the funny thing is this. I'm
Justify it.
I'm gonna say one more thing about
Oh
this.
God! Every
'Cause-
podcast there's a bash at me. I
No,
don't know if you've
there's not.
noticed.
She-
Yes, there is,
she-
whether I'm here or not.
She texts me. I just felt good, so I altered the plan. Bitch, I got the access to the Road to Ironman page where you put your video that says, my plan all along was to do
did.
45 miles. Like, you just fucking lied to me.
No, that was well.
in the text.
Okay, so
So then
the
I'm like, okay,
See
so
what
everything
happened
you
was-
said was bullshit.
no, yours was the truth, but then
So
that
you lied
it
to me. Who
no.
you lying to?
just speak first. That ended up being the final plan. I told him from the start to finish process plan. See how that works?
That still don't make no damn sense.
Yes, it
So I think
does.
I'm gonna bike tomorrow.
I told Lex I was gonna go run like 20-some miles.
Yeah, and I
on-
told her that was stupid.
She was like, no, you're not. Where are you going to be tomorrow? I'm like, I'm not doing it tomorrow. I'm doing it Wednesday. I feel pumped and ready to go. She was like, no, you're not. So then when you were like talking about how take small increments, don't jump from couch to 10 miles, be smart, don't be stupid. She looks at me, she's like, I was like, well, I just
You'll see
wheeled
all
on
of my like I'm like gym helper in the office.
It is my plan.
That's good. I think that's a good happy stopping point.
Yelling at
Oh,
me.
Yeah, 'cause it's like an
okay.
hour and a half podcast. We don't
Because
know
it's time for fort ball.
It is. I'm hungry as shit. That's part of the reason.
I'm full from our fucking lunch. That's all I got to
Yeah.
say.
It was good.
Diana's must be really good.
It's fucking.
It's
I
not
got
as
the
good as
mou-
fort ball. Though.
Mountain topper. Yeah, it's had like 5 different meats.
Oh
Plus
my god.
bacon.
I don't
Oh
care.
my.
So this has been the road to Ironman.
Before we know, we gotta do our. I gotta do some plugs first. We have
Boom.
we
I
have
got a plug.
announced
Brody.
our. We have
Wanna be on
announced August 17th, Joe Pemberton competition. We're starting to announce more and more details on that. By the time this is posted, oh no, shit! This one posts in 2 days. Never mind. I'm not gonna announce the prizes because those have been ordered today.
I already saw the paper, so I already know the prizes.
How did you see the paper?
Because
Oh.
Debbie typed it up and gave it to Carrie, and I looked at it.
Oh, what the hell?
She gave me something? Not yet.
But anyway, there will be prizes will be
Important,
announced
Carrie.
soon. We're going to announce that won't be announced by then either. We're going to announce a pre-event concert should be announced by the time we get this out. That's
gonna
gonna be
sing?
cool. No, it has nothing to do with me, fucking me.
Don't give any details, Jason.
We're gonna have some more vendors announced. We're gonna have some door prizes announced. But anyway, make sure you stop in. It's for Joe's daughters, Taylor and Elena. I don't know if by the time we post this or not, I'll have the video to tie into the podcast with information on who they are, what they want to go to school for, things like that. But we're working on getting that done sometime this week.
Tell your friends.
Tell your friends. It's going to be more than a fitness thing. So if you're like,
just tell
fuck
you guys.
fitness, okay. I don't care if you like fitness or not. We're going to have fucking Jimmy G's barbecue there.
And t-shirts.
We're going to have t-shirts there. We're going to have a concert. We're going to have so much more to do. There's going to be kids obstacle course. There's going to be so many more things to do than just fitness. Stop in and help us celebrate Joe's life and his daughters, send them to college. Don't forget to check out Four Ball Pizza. 'Cause we didn't fucking
Which
say
is
that enough
actually
today.
right across the street from CR Juices.
Yes.
Oh,
Which, if you're been paying attention to this, you're probably already figured out 2 other vendors that are going to be announced real soon for the Joe
So
Pemberton
you get your
competition.
pizza and
And then
drink your
your
juice,
juice.
and it cancels each other out.
Yes.
And then you can
She's
eat
gonna
some
have more.
barbecue.
She's gonna have more than juices there. I know what's gonna be there, and it's fucking not on the menu. It sounds amazing.
So it's
It
like
sounds amazing.
a debut item.
Christina.
Debut item. I don't know that she's gonna keep it on the menu, but it's gonna be
She
good.
told me I looked like shit when I walked in there today. She goes, "Wow, you look terrible," and I was
She's-
like,
She said all the members that's come
She
in today
told
looks
me-
like they were gonna die.
She said, "I'm so happy you're back." She was
She
happy
said
to
that-
see
She
me.
said that to me today too.
Oh,
and
whatever.
No, she did
5
not.
minutes later,
Obviously,
she's like,
we're
"Can
the
you get out?"
favorites. Oh.
She's like, "Yeah." Within 5 minutes, she's like, "Can you get out?" I'm like, "Yes, actually, I can."
"All right." So she told me I look terrible, and she's happy to see everyone else. But
Well, Christina just lost a customer.
No, she didn't.
no,
NoSurrenderGear.com. Code Miley15.
MAYLE15.
Yes. Get some bags. Save you some money. Brody, what do you want to say?
Come to the gym, it's the best.
Oh, I like that one,
Perfect.
Brody. Knuckles on that. Boom. This has been the Road to Ironman podcast with JG3 Fitness, where I can't doesn't exist.
Boom!
Boom.
Oh, Brody, leaving him hanging.